Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Art Nouveau Tarot by Matt Myers. It's a deck from 1989, so I didn't see a website for it, but there's the information for it if you'd like it. Supportive Oracle Cards, Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. It's Ann with an E. I did see some websites for Sandra. They're all Hay House websites. Here you go. Feel free to freeze frame and check out anything there that's of interest to you, of course. There's one in the back, too, right below her picture somewhere over here. Hay House Radio, I believe. This is a printing from 2013, so I don't know if it's still active, but if you like it or want it or interested in it, feel free to knock your socks off. Knock your socks right off. Enjoy yourself. Why not? What do we have for Aquarius? Go a little farther. I don't know if this is going left or right yet. Is this good, bad, or indifferent? I don't know. All tied up. This is the strongest card coming off. What are we stuck with? Oh, this is somebody else is making a big decision. Somebody else is making a big decision and you're just like, oh. Somebody that obviously means something to you, they're doing something and you're just like, what? I don't know about that. But it's also like, you're seeing them do this and you're like, I put my 2 cents in and they drag me right into it. I don't think so. No. I think I want to stay out of this. The thing is, I'm very conflicted because I got the Ace of Cups and the Hanged Man. Kind of like, I really don't think I should be putting my 2 cents in, but it's kind of just lingering there. And if I do put my 2 cents in, it kind of could dislodge that. And just kind of like, you know, if the boat's going to sink, let's just let it sink so we can move on. That's kind of, I know that's harsh, but it's kind of like, instead of like waiting for it to sink, maybe we could just plunk it, like just sink it. Just sink it so we can move on. Can we just move on from it? I don't know if that sounds too harsh, but I feel like I don't really want to be involved, but I really don't want to wait for this to finish off. And if I get involved, it'll finish it off. I also could catch some heat for it. Not that Aquarius can't handle that. I know you can handle it. But it's kind of like, do I want to? There's definitely going to be some loss here. I'm trying to stay out of it, I keep feeling. Is that good or bad to stay out of this? Like, what is better for the situation? I know it's a general read, but for most of the people watching, is it better to stay out of it or get involved with it? I'm really kind of like half and half on this one. 9 of Major Arcana is the Hermit card. It's the most decks, not in this one. Isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's air. 4 of air is the 4 of swords. It's healing. Go with your gut instinct and staying out of it. The 4 of pentacles is like holding back works better. Whatever's going on here, if you just let it take its natural course and just go do something else while it's doing what it's doing, it does work out better for you and the situation. You do have a lot to say, and you will have your moment. After everything's all said and done, that's when it's best for you to come forward with your Queen of Swords energy. Don't get caught up in the gender. It's basically saying you will definitely have to give your 2 cents on this at some point. Wait for it to finish off, because I feel like things aren't working out right. They're kind of like, they're halfway done. They're not quite done right. It's half-baked. The situation does seem very half-baked. And it's kind of like it has a reputation. This situation, whoever's involved with it, seems to have a reputation for being a little half-baked on what they do. So it's kind of like, let them sort it out and do what they need to do. Because it's coming into a harsh ending. At some point, it will come into a harsh ending due to the way it was handled. The person who did that, I don't feel like, if you get involved with it, it will finish it off quicker, but I also feel like this person might play the, well, Aquarius did, or Aquarius did this, or Aquarius that, or Aquarius. I just feel like they're going to try to like redirect blame. They need to own their blame. And the less distractions it is, just if they ask you for help, that's one thing. And if they're asking you for help, that's a whole different ball of wax. But if they're not asking for it, let them sort it out for themselves. Because I feel like they're playing it. It reminds me of like the ostrich when they stick their head in the sand. Things are going cuckoo. There's a storm warning here, but they're acting like everything is great and nothing's really going bad. What's up with that? This is another reason I feel like for you staying out of it works better, because it's kind of like they can't blame you for something that, even though rationally it's obviously not your fault, rationale, I can't even say it. It's just, I don't feel like it's a part of the situation. They're on this collision course with the end. Temperance. They have to come to the ending on their own time. It's gonna drag out. It is gonna drag out. It's slow and steady. It's gonna take a long time. It feels like it takes way too long, but that will literally solve the situation. This person has to own up to it. If they're the one who sinks the ship and it's all their own fault, if they're asking you for help, it's on them, and they seem to own that better. But if you try to get in there and fix it, I feel like they try to blame you. Like, it's not my fault, it's Aquarius's fault. Something like that. They need to come forward to their own high priestess moment and realize what they did. The thing is with the high priestess is when this comes in as a person, it's looking at your life, looking at what you did wrong, looking at what you did right, and trying to make the best of it as you keep moving forward. Kind of like, it's kind of like the person, like when you're in your mid-20s and you maybe, for a lot of us, I feel like we get our credit cards in our late teens, early 20s, and we don't realize what we're doing, and we spend a bit too much money. So what we have to do is we have to get a couple extra jobs and do our best to pay off those credit cards to correct that misstep. But this is that energy. The high priestess owns their own energy, kind of like, hey, I've made some mistakes, and I'm going to do what needs to be done to fix that. They need to own their own energy. That's that advanced energy. The high priestess is very advanced, kind of like, you know what, everything wasn't perfect, but I'm owning it. And when you own it, that's when you're truly empowered. And that's like, you learn, like, everybody has this moment where they look back and you're like, you know what, screwed that up. But if I own it and I own my own mistakes, I fix my own mistakes, I don't repeat these mistakes. That's where you go. That's what they need. And right now they have a very passive energy with it. The Six of Pentacles, they're going to need some help. They actually need help now, but they need to ask for it. And if they're putting their head in the sand and they're not actually dealing with the fact that they need help, then they're going on this autopilot energy where it's just like, well, every day's a day, and I made it through yesterday, so I'll make it through tomorrow. They're not dealing with what the real problem is. They have to deal with their own problem. They have to come head to head, face to face, deal with their own problem. This may have a bad ending because of it, but that's the only way they're going to realize what they did. That's the only way they're going to own up to what they've done. That's the only way they're going to learn from this in this situation. This is definitely a school of hard knocks situation. It's not pretty. It's not fun. Is there anything else about how this situation is going to end? Any other details about how this situation is going to end? Because there's a storm warning and you see it coming, but what is actually going to happen? Fire. Ace of Fire. Justice. The 11th Arcana. It's going to come in swift and hard. Swift, hard, and fast. Boom. It's going to hurt. It has to, is what I'm also getting. I'm going to say this in the sense of my own life. When you make those big, giant mistakes, especially when I was younger, made some big ones, you make them once, you hate the resolution, you hate what you have to do to fix it, but once it's fixed, you're like, well, I'm not going to do that again. That's what's going to happen here. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny. I don't feel like you're going to like this in any sense, because I feel like you're going to look at this like it never had to be that bad. Like if they just listened to you, or if they just paid attention, if you want to tell them things, see, that's hard because you have a lot to say. I don't know. I feel like if you try to start getting involved too early, it's just not going to work. And I feel like also for a lot of you, you've already said something. They're just not listening to you. If they don't want to listen, let them be. They have to learn their lesson their own way. I feel like this is a lot about stepping back and just letting it work out. You really do care about this situation, but you're also in a position right now, from what I'm feeling, I mean, take it with a grain of salt, when it does fall in, and when it's done is done, it's broken, it's screwed up, it's done. You can step in and give your 2 cents. You can help them fix it. You can tell them what they need to do to fix it. I don't think you should be fixing it. Telling them or giving them advice, like this, you should do this, you need to look into that, go over there and do this. Giving them the information, that's one thing. Getting in there yourself and actually physically doing it, I don't think that's for the best. But you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, after it's all said and done. Because I feel like, you coming in and telling them, well, this has to happen and that has to happen, that seems to be more effective. Especially because I feel like, again, most of you have already said something. Have already said, this isn't looking right, this isn't good, you need to pay attention. They're either ignoring you, or they're just like, they're arguing with you about it. Like, no, you don't know, Aquarius. Well, actually you do. But so when it's all said and done, maybe you'll be like, well, this is why I told you that, and this is why I told you this, and this is why you need to do this now, and this is why you need to do that now. You'll be more effective afterwards. It's just the proof is in the pudding type of situation. Once it's come apart, they have to do something to fix it. They're gonna be really open to the help, because they're gonna need the help. That's where you're most effective. It seems like a harsh way to do it. It does, but if you push in there and try to fix it now and try to do it for them, I feel like it's still gonna have its moment where it falls apart anyway, and then they try to blame it on you, and it just doesn't seem right. That seems really messed up, but it seems like what's gonna happen if this reading is on. General read, Alright, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.